You don't expect to find a former high-flying London investment banker behind the wheel of a 40-ton Scania. But 3 months ago, a woman named Alicia joined our yard, and she completely changed how every bloke in the depot looks at their wages. Alicia had spent 17 years working deep inside the high-stakes world of city finance as an investment accountant. She had seen exactly how the wealthiest people on the planet manage their capital to stay ahead of the system, but she got sick of the corporate boardrooms and the camera-shy politics of the city. She wanted real freedom, so she got her Class 1 license, exchanged her high heels for steel-toed boots, and took to the motorway. At first, the lads in the canteen didn't know what to make of her. Lorry driving is still a heavily male-dominated space, and some of the older drivers tried to give her a bit of a hard time over her morning brew. But she sat down at the table, took a bite of her bacon roll, and completely shut them down with some of the most brutal, eye-opening financial truths I have ever heard in my life. She told us that after nearly 2 decades in the vault, she realized there is a massive educational gap in this country that is costing working class families hundreds of thousands of pounds. In school, we all learned about the mitochondria being the powerhouse of the cell, or some ancient battle from the 1800s. But honestly, none of that academic nonsense ever helped a working bloke understand why his credit score goes down after he pays off a loan, or how to actually escape the financial hamster wheel. We graduate from school feeling academically prepared, but financially clueless. We let 18-year-old kids sign finance documents worth more than a decent car without teaching them the first thing about compound interest or what happens when you default. It is like handing someone the keys to a Formula One race car when they have only ever ridden a bicycle. One of the young lads in the yard, a driver named Danny, proudly mentioned how he was saving money by skipping his 4-pound morning coffee at the services. Alicia just laughed. She told him that while saving 4 quid a day is fine, that kind of generic advice completely misses the real problem. The real problem is that we have been programmed by society to believe that buying shiny things on finance equals progress and that convenience equals success. "You're playing defense, Danny," she said. "You're worrying about pennies while the big corporations are taking your pounds. You need to start playing offense." She explained that she had seen people in London earning £200,000 a year who were completely brassic, absolutely broke, because they were trapped in the status game, leasing brand new German motors and paying off mortgages on houses they only used to sleep in. Meanwhile, she had watched ordinary folks making 40 grand a year systematically build impressive net worths through simple, smart decision making. It is not about how much money flows into your bank account each month, mate. It is about what happens to that money once it gets there. Wealth is a consistency game. It is about doing the boring stuff month after month while everyone else is busy looking for a high-risk shortcut or a dodgy get-rich-quick scheme. Alicia called it the quietly broke phenomenon. It's where looking successful has become far more important to people than actually being successful. She warned us about the safety trap of keeping all our hard-earned cash in a standard high street bank account. She literally called it financial suicide in slow motion. With inflation running the way it is, leaving your savings in a basic account means your purchasing power is evaporating every single day while the bank uses your money to make themselves richer. You have to move from being a simple saver to being a capital owner. She told us that one of the smartest money moves she ever made was driving a cheap, battered old runaround car outside of work. The lads in the yard laughed, but she looked them dead in the eye and said, "Status doesn't pay your mortgage, boys. My cheap little motor allows me to put my money into assets that actually grow while I'm sleeping." It was a proper reality check for a lot of the drivers who were paying 500 quid a month on finance for a car that sat in the depot car park for 60 hours a week while they were out on the road. Alicia explained that she was using her time in the cab to listen to financial books and learn about new technologies, treating her brain like an investment portfolio. "I'm just an accountant who wanted to see the world from a high cab," she told us. "But the rules of money are the same whether you're in a boardroom or a transport cafe. You deserve to have a financial foundation that gives you the freedom to make choices based on what you actually want, rather than just what you can afford." Hearing her speak was a massive wake-up call for me. We work some of the hardest hours in the country, sleeping in freezing cabs and eating rubbish food, but most of us have no exit plan. We are just running on that financial treadmill until our knees give out. So, here is my advice to you today, inspired by the smartest driver in our yard. Stop playing financial defense. Stop letting the system keep you broke through convenience and clever financing. Start building a foundation. Learn how to make your money work for you, even if it's just putting a small, consistent amount into a simple global index fund every single month. Your future self is counting on the decisions you make right now behind the wheel. If Alicia's boardroom to cab story gave you a new perspective on your wages, drop a like on the video, mate. It helps the message reach the drivers who need to hear it. Subscribe for more real stories and honest advice from the UK tarmac. And let me know in the comments, have you ever fallen into the status trap with a shiny car on finance? And how did you break out of it? Stay smart, keep your money working, and keep the shiny side up. Over and out.